guys, welcome to the Barbara vlog, and if you're watching this video, that means you want to know how to draw a cute girl. So first we start with the T. The T is what I use in every drawing to help me with my base. Then you start with the I. I had a demo here, but you really want to make an upside down U and try to make it more eye-shaped and copy the process with the other side. The reason I like the T so much is because it helps make sure the face is lined up and the eyes are lined up straight. Then I put these other lines that show the eyelids. For this drawing, I wanted it to have like longer eyelashes, so I made my eyelashes very dramatic. Make sure to follow along. Then for the nose, you have to try to make it look exactly the way you want. The nose I saw had like a more circle shape, so when I was drawing it, I made sure I made that circle shape shown. You can put it into demos. I put that circle there so you can break your art into shapes. So, for example, I could have done a circle here to help me get my art. Then I made a longer line for the nose line. For the lips, I made a V in the middle. Then I let it be longer. Then I erased because it didn't look as good as I wanted it to. Art is about trial and error. It's never going to be perfect, but you can try to make it as good as you can. That's what I love. You have an eraser, and you could always erase. Make sure you draw lightly, or it will not forgive you. That's what my art teacher always says. Then I came in and I did another upside down U. I didn't want it to be too big because that would ruin what I was going for. Then I did the pupil. I did it in the middle. I made sure my pupils looked alike because I could not make a pupil on my left eye way like on the left and then make the pupil on my right eye on the right, because then it wouldn't be facing in the right directions. Then I was making the chin, and I wanted to make it look, like fit the face, because you can't have a very large chin for a small face. So I was making a round face. So when I made the chin, I made like a straight line and then I rounded it off a bit. It's all about taking your time. I tried to make the distance of the eyes equal, but then I noticed how the right side was longer than the other side. So I tried to make the jawline lefter. For the hair, I wanted to make the right side longer, so that's what I did. Make sure you're following along. I did the hairline and I tried to make the hair look more voluminous because you don't want it to look flat. If your hair is too low, it's going to look flat and it's not going to look very realistic. Here I showed it was very flat, so I decided to make it bigger. You'd probably say, wow, Barbara, that's a bit much, but trust me on this one. And always make sure it connects, because at the end, you don't have a line in your hair that just never ends. The part will end. Then for the eyebrows, I did a straight line and then I curved it a bit. I didn't finish the whole eyebrow because I wanted to show the different proportions, and I wanted to show that the hair was covering the face. And I also wanted to show that the left eyebrow was had more space, and the face was tilting towards the right side, so the left eyebrow would be longer. Then I erased the guidelines because I didn't want my face to have a T in the middle of it. Then I use my gooey eraser to erase because I wanted to use colors. This is how you color any face. I started with alcohol markers. Usually I'd use crayons, but I wanted this to be fast. So I used the alcohol markers and I covered the whole face with them. I made sure they didn't dry, and I made sure I didn't use them in different directions. You have to be very precise with alcohol markers or it will ruin your artwork. Alcohol markers also tend to bleed a bit, so when you're drawing with them, you have to make sure to be a little bit more far away or it's going to bleed. It bled into the eye a bit. Then I use a black pencil to darken my eye. I usually always start with the eye when I'm coloring or overall anything. And then I darkened and then I use my Posca marker. I use it for a highlighter. I added gray. I usually always do that, gray and white to the eyes. But then I later on removed it because it was too gray. Then I used gray. Gray is like a shadow, and then I darkened the nose. I used this color a bit brighter to show different points. And then I used this pink to show the blush in the face. I also had to make sure they blended. I didn't want it to be too smooth because I was going for a more animated look than usual, so I made sure to show that it wasn't fully blended, but that's what I was going for. Then for the lips, I colored a bit out the lines, and I did this for a reason. I wanted the blush to sink into, the lips. I wanted the lips to sink into the face, so I colored a bit over so it could be more natural, I wanted to sink in. Then I used orange. I do not know why I chose this color. I guess I thought it would look good, but I pulled it off in the end. The thing about an artist is you can pull off anything. I paused a bit to let you guys catch up. When you are using colors, it's also the same as when you're not using colors. You color the whole thing lightly with your pencil, then you shade in the darker areas, It's really the same thing except you add color. And then I used this darker orange that was more of a reddish color. I tried to blend it. I also added it to the top. But as an artist, you can change anything about your piece. And when I saw the lips, I was like, this is not how I want it to look. I do not want it to look like this. So I was like, okay, I'm going to change it up a bit. So then I took my trusty eraser and I started erasing because I did not like what I had. So I redid a bit. And then I continued to color. I do not expect you to follow along on the coloring part, but I want you to see the process so you can do it on your own and maybe be watching this video as you do it to know the steps. I then took a marker that was a bit darker because I wanted the lips to be darker and I knew that would change it. So I started using the marker on top. This doesn't always work, but I felt like it would work, and it did. it really faded away the orange and made it like more of a brownish grayish color. Then I used my black and I made the lip lines. After I did that, I blended it in by using my finger, and it turned it like a bit grayer. And then I darkened the line and I added some highlights. I then used more blush because I felt like the face could use a bit more. Then I took a red out of my colored pencils and I used it on the lips. Then for the hair, I wanted it to be strawberry blonde because I thought to myself, I haven't made strawberry blonde hair before, so I decided to get my acrylics. I took red, a dark crimson red. I took black and I took a lot of white and I used it. In the video, it looks more of just like a gold color, but from my view without the camera, it looked like more of a pinkish color. But next time I draw, I'll try to make it more pink and incorporate the pink more, because on the camera it looked like just regular golden blonde hair. I also made the eyes a bit greener, if you didn't notice. I just thought the gray was really, boring, and I wanted to add some pop to my drawing. I change up things all the time. I just love painting. I feel like it's just like so satisfying. I don't know why. This is like a hobby for me. I love it so much. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. I later on added a bit more red. I didn't want it to be too red. Like, I was a bit nervous about that. So I kind of stayed out of the red. And if I were you, I'd get some acrylics. Acrylics are great. Like, they're great. I don't recommend watercolors, but if that's what you're doing, go for it. They blended really smoothly, and it was just overall amazing. And when it dried, I then used some brown some brown colored pencils over it. And I also colored the eyebrows. Anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notifications button. Me out. Peace.